What is up, scent heads, smell beast, and frag freaks? It's your boy. My name is Mega Dave, and today we talk about two underrated Creed expressions from the House of Dua that teamed up and became an absolute fresh powerhouse. That's coming up next, but this is Oh So Fraiche. Yo, what is good, Fresh fam? For everybody returning, I want to say thank you so much for being a freshie. It really means a lot. And if this is your first time here, well, welcome. As I said before, my name's Mega Dave. This is my channel, Oh So Fraiche. I do reviews on fragrances that I absolutely love. And I hope that you love them too. If you do, give me two huge fresh thumbs up. That lets me know that you enjoy the content. Also, think about subscribing and hitting me down on my bell end. There you go. Now you're updated and you know when I'm dropping new flames like this, because who knows, it could be your favorite fragrance that I review next. Today, as you heard from the intro, I'm doing two, I think, definitely underrated fragrances from the House of Creed. We already have them in the House of Dua. They're called High Seas and Everest, respectively. And not a lot of people talk about them, and they're actually fantastic. Now, I know they tend to get overshadowed by Creed Aventus and Green Irish Tweed and things like that, but they actually are very phenomenal, fresh scents that people really never talk about. And here in the House of Dua, it's called High Seas of Everest. Now, as I mentioned, this is a hybrid, and Dua does those better than anybody in the game. A hybrid between Creed Erolfa and Creed Himalaya. Both phenomenal scents from the House of Creed. Here, they're known as High Seas and Everest, as I mentioned. They actually are very phenomenal scents, and I'm actually guilty of not really talking about them that much either. Actually, I've reviewed neither one of those, and I need to. But I will preface this with saying this fragrance here is better than both of those singularly. So I'm not sure if it's necessarily needed, but for fans of those, I definitely would do those because they actually are both phenomenal. And I think that they do need to get some love. I'm going to start doing a vintage series, a Throwback Thursday. Every single Thursday, I'm going to be putting out old content or fragrances that get no love or fragrances that really don't get any hype behind them, and get some love out to them and get those babies adopted to one of you guys. But let me get to why you guys all came here and get to the scent breakdown. All right, I got my High Seas of Everest, banger, and of course, my handy dandy fresh strip, the star of the whole show. And we're going to take this baby to paper. One spray. Look at that baby there. Sprayers are good. So fresh. This is like an airy mountain. This opens up like fresh bergamot. Nice orange note. Like a green note in here as well. It is so clean smelling. We also get a nice crisp melon note in here as well. It just kind of gives that watery, cooling vibe to it. Slightly aquatic as well, but very airy, very clean. As that initial super big burst starts wearing down just a little bit, some more citruses are in here as well, which is unfathomable. We have grapefruit that I can smell. It's just so good. That opening just kind of like puts you on your toes and just makes you feel extremely clean and energized, ready to climb that mountain of Everest and jump straight down into the high seas that lie right below it. Actually, there's no high seas right by it, but you can imagine it in your head. When we get to the mid, more melon kind of dominates this mid for me. I pick it up quite a bit, so it stays nice and crisp and watery feeling. But there's also a very good zing of ginger. People that know me know I love ginger, and this is no exception. Very clean, very crisp, has a slight green, but very like cooling, watery note to it. I think some of that cooling note that I can smell in here probably is attributed to some of the herbs that are in this. To my nose, I can get a nice clean basil, and a nice rosemary oil that was already in Everest to begin with. That was phenomenal, but it gives that cooling vibe. It just makes everything feel like cool and refreshed, like you're at the peak of the mountain there and the wind's blowing by and you can catch breezes and snows up there. It just smells very, very clean and you just have no care in the world. You're just overlooking, seeing some bodies down below that didn't make it up to Everest, but you did because you're here now. You're smelling this and you're like $1,000,000. Also, to kind of keep things a little bit more balanced, as you sniff a little bit harder, you get a pepper note. Nothing off-putting, definitely. This is fresh, 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 fresh. Did I say fresh enough? Because it's fresh. But the pepper note is just in there, kind of helping keep things a little bit balanced. And a touch of violet, maybe some jasmine, little light floral in here. Nothing out of the ordinary, nothing out of hand. This definitely, to me, leans masculine. I know some women that wear both, either or. I think that you could definitely pull it off, but I think it definitely goes the masculine way. As always, I'm wearing stuff all over my body, but I have the High Seas of Everest here. Very good, clean ambergris. I think the cleanliness of it is definitely attributed to the vetiver that I can smell. It's got a nice cleanliness to it. Now, this is not a vetiver bomb, any of that, not like Pretiosum vetiverum. It's just lend some cleanliness to this ambergris, which definitely is high quality. Probably exactly what they used inside of Creed's original formulas. The High Seas version and the Everest both had ambergris in them and smells exactly like it. Very, very good. Very, very clean. Definitely lending some good, strong Frag to this. There's also a creamy sandalwood in here and a very nice, again, fresh musk. There's not any stank to this whatsoever. It's all just about freshness and clean and making you feel, like I said, on top of a mountain. That's what you feel like. Like if you can imagine being on top of a mountain where cold air is coming by, and imagine if you could get whiffs of the sea as well. If you were that high up, you probably wouldn't get any sniffs of it. But that's what this invokes to me mentally. I smell it just cooling, clean, fresh, airy, light, but powerful too. Already out of this brand new bottles, about 8 hours. So again, these are very typical numbers that I get out of most duos, at least right off of the bat. But the projection on this thing like blew my mind. Over 2 hours, very strong, and you get that opening and that heart stays around for a very, very long time until you get down to the base. I've had it on well over 8 hours. I've had plenty days to test this, so I definitely know what to expect from it. I've had it as a scent of the day. I've worn it many, many times since its release and definitely excited to get it out to you guys. I know I've seen people already talking about how good this fragrance is. It's just so refreshing and so clean smelling. That's the words that come out of my mouth when I talk about this fragrance. It just, you just feel good. Like I said, the best way is to put you on a mountain, like the Andes mountain, but this isn't minty like that. But you remember the old peppermint patties? You feel like you're on top of a mountain. That's what I get out of this fragrance here without the mint. All right, so for seasons, power, projection, all of that stuff. Seasons, obviously you want to wear this in hot climates. So spring, summer, no problem. Hot climate, you're going to be in love with this. Tropical, all of those places. If you want to feel fresh and airy and clean, throw this baby on. Hit it with 3 or 4. You're good all day. You're just going to be in a better mood. It's just going to make you feel refreshed, even if you're getting swamped out in nasty tropical climates or you got the sun beating on you as you're working outside. This is just going to give you whiffs. And if that wind blows by 7 hours later, you're still going to get a good solid sillage and just remind you, hey, I got on High Seas of Everest and I'm on top of the world. Now, for who could actually wear this, I do think this is a masculine scent. I know it's labeled as unisex. And again, as I always say, wear what you love what you wear. To my nose and the way that it dries down and the notes that are in here, now don't be confused, the melon doesn't become ultra feminine. So there are some notes that women are going to love. I know these typically become male fragrances, but again, if you already were wearing High Seas or Everest, continue to wear them. This is going to take it to the next level, to the max. But I just want to do a broad category if I could. And I hate putting things in a box, but that's the general consensus is most people would think this is masculine. But if you love it, wear it. All right. For this phenomenal high seas of Everest, that's all I have. I am so happy to get this in my hands. As soon as I seen it, I just knew I was in for a super fresh ride, and I was correct. I'm not sure how long this is going to be in stock, so I definitely would grab it. I actually think that Smells and Suds has samples of it. I'm not exactly sure, but you can check with him if it's in stock. Get you a sample, or definitely this is blind buy worthy 100%, especially if you already were wearing Everest or High Seas, Erolfa, Himalaya, whatever. They're fantastic. They're great, great, great for this hot weather that we got coming up. And I think all you guys are going to love it as well. But until I come to you again, and as always, I love you guys so much. Be blessed. Stay fresh. We got shorties on the floor.